Hey everyone, Jeremy Cubas here. Self-soothing is self-destruction. The pacifier has become synonymous with babies. Ever since its introduction in 1901, it's become the choice way by most parents in the Western world to soothe a crying or fussy baby. On average, a baby uses a pacifier between 6 to 12 hours per day of his or her waking hours. Many babies sleep all night with their pacifiers and really are unable to sleep without it. Most children by the age 3 or 4 have difficulty giving it up. And further still, many of the methods that doctors and therapists tell you about weaning the child off of the pacifier is to simply transfer this addiction to another object such as a security blanket, pillow, doll, a stuffed toy, or what have you. This transference of pacification continues to adolescence to several different objects including toys, clothes, pillowcases, video games, ice cream, etc., all the way up to adulthood. Then as adults, whenever we feel stressed or anxious, we turn towards substance of some sort to self-soothe, whether it's a continuation of our adolescence pacifier, or new ones such as cigarettes, weed, alcohol, sleeping medications, drugs, or even porn. We never end this cycle of pacification in our lives. It teaches us from the very moment that we are born to use external substances as an effective method to deal with life's discomforts, anxieties, and insecurities. Now, this is not to discuss the gravity of the consequences of some of the certain substances, but it's only to point out that we never actually end the pacifier, but only transfer the pacification with new pacifiers in our daily lives. I'm not here to discuss the healthy ways to pacify yourself. I'm not here just to rag on drugs or cigarettes or overconsumption of alcohol or anything, but I'm here really to say to stop pacifying yourself altogether. Stop self-soothing. Stop trying to find new ways to make yourself feel better when confronted with life's sufferings or anxieties. You will never grow up if all you do for the rest of your life is to find new ways to pacify yourself. You will remain an eternal child, unable to deal with life when shit really hits the fan. You will forever be controlled by your fear of not feeling good. You will forever be controlled by your fear of discomfort. The problem is not the pacifier itself, but rather the act of self-soothing with external material that brings instant corporeal gratification to deny yourself the opportunity to grow. You see, because there's a difference between a man who is enjoying a drink, a cocktail, a beer, or wine, or whatever, with his friends while smoking a cigarette or a cigar or a pipe, to partake in the beauty of pleasure and leisure, versus a man who pathetically is running outside every 15 minutes for a smoke break because he is too stressed at work, or if he's too stressed with life. Far too often in the contemporary world, we focus on the substance itself rather than how we are using the substance. Such as in my generation, when we were children, they tried to brainwash us and force us to sing the song Smoke-Free Class of 2000. They made us make posters, little booklets, and everything really to believe in this movement of being anti-cigarette. The emphasis was on the cigarette, on the substance itself, rather than being on how one uses the substance. The problem is not the cigarette. The problem is not the alcohol. The problem is not the cigar or the weed necessarily. The actual problem is self-soothing, not simply smoking or consuming. It's the self-soothing that doesn't allow us to grow up. It's the self-soothing that makes you a pussy. It destroys your very manhood. Self-soothing is self-destruction. As I discussed on my Stop Being a Pussy episode, We have an epidemic of pussified young men. Now, you could complain all day long that really it was your parents or schools or society's fault that made you a pussy. That as a child, you had no control over how you were raised. So it was your parents' fault that they never truly weaned you off of pacifier, but only made you addicted to other things. That wasn't your fault that your parents fed you soy milk and that pumped your body with phytoestrogen since the age of 2. That it was your parents' fault or your school's fault that taught you that it's better to be safe than sorry. Although it may be true that the fault initially rests on your parents and schools and society, or every other adult that failed you in your life, it doesn't really matter now. Because if you continue your pussification, then it is your fault now. So rather than bitch about what your parents or society or everybody has done to you, you can begin right now the steps to actually turn all of this shit around. And you could begin with this simple step. You could begin with stop the self-soothing pacification. Face the world as is. When you feel anxious and want to reach for the pacifier, whatever it is, just stop yourself. Just stop doing it. And I know many will say, well, how do you do that? How do you just stop? It's too hard. You can't just stop. You're being stupid, Jeremy. You can't just stop doing things. This is honestly the most tiresome objection I constantly hear from people. Really, what do you mean you can't just stop? What do you mean you can't just start doing something else? Have you no will? Is your will so weak that you literally cannot control your hands reaching for something? You can't control your mouth from masticating or sucking on something. Are you a fucking robot? I mean, it's stupid. Of course you can stop. You just stop. There's no trick or fucking life hack. I hate that fucking idea, life hack. This stupid idea that you have a hack for your life, as if you could eradicate the difficulty of doing something by hacking something right in there to make it easier for yourself, which is just another form of your own stupid fucking pacification. Fuck it. Stop with this stupid life hack nonsense. There's no magic answer that any doctor or therapist or anyone can give you. It's simple. You just fucking stop. Stop self-soothing. Stop pacifying yourself. Stop being a fucking baby. If you're addicted to porn and use masturbation as your pacifier, just fucking stop watching porn. Stop touching yourself. If you run outside every 15 minutes because you're stressed, ooh, I need my fucking cigarette, just stop. Stop being a fucking baby. If you need sleep medication because, oh, it's so hard to sleep, I'm too anxious to sleep, so you reach for the fucking drug that puts you into this weird state of coma, like a fucking baby who needs his binky, just don't take the fucking medication. Close your eyes, breathe, and fucking sleep. If you have been fed, phytoestrogens your entire life, ever since you were a kid, now you're 18 years old, and you're a pussy with low testosterone, then eat some fucking eggs, kale, red meat, get off your ass, and start working out. If all you can do at this point is doing push-ups and buy like a $20 pull-up bar that you could put over a door frame, then just fucking do that. Start eating right today. Start working out to boost your metabolic rate in order to change your hormonal levels. Again, there's no easy life hack on how to turn all this around. It takes hard work and it takes discipline. It takes the cardinal virtues that I talked about in the previous episode actively implemented in your life. All your life you've been told that everything is out of your control. That it was either your parents' fault or society's fault that made you this way. Whether it's genetics or chemical misbalance in your head or whatever stupid shit people tell young people nowadays. The truth is that it is all under your control. When it comes to you, it is all under your fucking control. Ultimately, all of these excuses is the biggest fucking pacifier that exists. The search for the life hack. blaming everybody else for your depression, for your anxiety, for your emasculation, for your suffering. The more that you do that, the less likely you are to ever grow up. Self-soothing is self-destruction. Stop being a baby. Stop pacifying yourself. And fucking grow up. All right, thank you. That's really it for this segment. Please subscribe to our non-subscriber on our Patreon or on our website at contragentilis.com. Thank you, and see you next time.